As you can see on screen, IFL TV have uploaded a video titled Tyson Fury hammers the pads training for Dillian Whyte in Dubai. It's only 14 seconds long, so watch it for yourself and make of it what you will. Tyson Fury doing his kind of usual routine on the pads, flashing the jabs, decent amount of sharpness and fluidity, quick combos. We know what Tyson Fury brings to the table. However, there is something that's mildly concerning, and that is the appearance, the weight of Tyson Fury. He looks like he's put on a decent amount of weight, and there are people pointing this out in the comments, and I concur with their assessment. I think it's quite clear that Tyson Fury has put on some amount of weight. People are speculating how much he weighs right now. I don't think anyone's going to know. Only Tyson Fury himself knows. And does he care? Probably not. However, I say this is concerning because it represents something that myself and many people have pointed out about Tyson Fury, and that is the seeming lack of discipline of Tyson Fury in between fights especially, but even sometimes leading up to fights. If he's in against an opponent who doesn't particularly get him going, he seems to slack off quite a bit. And now there are going to be people in the comments of this video saying, Tyson, it's muscles don't win fights and physiques don't win fights and this, that. And well, I'll rebuttal by saying that, yeah, muscles don't necessarily win fights, appearances don't necessarily win fights, but poor conditioning and poor discipline can lose you a fight. Yes, it can. And if anyone tries to deny it, you're separated from reality. Because forget about your fanboyism for a minute. Tyson Fury is one fighter in an era of very close contemporaries. And just like his contemporaries, just like his rivals, he has weaknesses. And the opinion of myself and many others is that Tyson Fury's main weakness is his lack of discipline. A lot of his weaknesses, Tyson Fury has technical weaknesses, but all fighters do. They all have limitations. They all have things that they're not particularly good at or just less developed. But Tyson Fury, his most glaring weakness seems to be his mentality. When he's riding high and he's firing on all cylinders, very special fighter, extraordinary fighter. But anything less than that, and Tyson Fury seems to fall quite flat. And in between fights, this man has no discipline. Is he a fighting man? Yes. Could he potentially beat his rivals in less than stellar condition? Potentially. We have to wait and see. But this will not help his longevity at all. And if you struggle to accept that, then you're not being realistic. You're just probably hoping that Tyson Fury and his performance doesn't face any detriment to his lack of discipline. But yeah, I think Tyson Fury's kind of gone. He's abused his body so much in the past few years that there's like a threshold that he just can't cross anymore. Like, he never had the genetic makeup to be an Adonis anyway. You know, the likelihood of that was slim. Whereas after what he's done to his body in the past few years, it's pretty much none. And yes, appearances don't win fights, but however, I think you have to be concerned when you consider that Tyson Fury is potentially going in against Dillian Whyte or Alexander Usyk, two fighters who pose a very real risk and danger to Tyson Fury. And now people are going to disagree with me. That's fine. You know, that's just my opinion. However, I'd implore you to back your opinion up. Same thing with, if you see this and you're not concerned, let me know why. Because this can't be good for Tyson Fury's health. And if you're in poor health, how are you supposed to get a good performance out of that? It's just it just smacks of a lack of discipline from Tyson Fury. And now this is not a character assassination of Tyson Fury. He's a very brave, very talented man, but it does make you wonder, how long can Tyson Fury kind of keep up this act? You know, how long can his body carry him? Because what happens when the fights get real tough? We know Tyson Fury has heart, but will it get to a point where his body just can't sustain this effort anymore? Will he be able to make it through a training camp? What happens if he has more serious health problems? Who knows? You know, he's made no secret of the fact that he's abused alcohol and certain substances, probably had piss poor nutrition for a long time. And yeah, it's not the best look, especially, as I say, when you're going into potentially two of the biggest fights of your life, maybe even more. What happens if I don't know, if he fights Dillian Whyte and beats Dillian Whyte, then he goes in against Usyk. But then what happens if AJ comes back into the mix and gets some good form? There are tough fights for Tyson Fury if he really wants to prove himself as the best. You know, I don't buy into this Mayweather-esque nonsense of, oh, he doesn't have to fight this guy because he'll beat him anyway. That's BS. If you say stuff like that, you're not a boxing fan. You're just not. So if Tyson Fury sets out to face his rivals, face his contemporaries, will his body hold up to it? Will it hold up to the rigors of training camp? Will it hold up to the fights itself? Will his base level of conditioning be lowered by this fluctuation in weight, or just plain blowing up in weight? What happens if he goes up and he doesn't come back down? It's legitimate questions. Or maybe you're looking at this from a strategic point of view, because people ask me in the live stream, do I think Tyson Fury will come in heavier or lighter for a Dillian Whyte fight? I personally don't know. Some people even saying that, oh, he's accumulating this fat around his gut to protect him from Whyte's body punches. Yeah, I don't think that is a worthwhile trade-off. But hey, you know, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think of this video in the comment section. What do you think of my take of it? Personally, I don't like this. I don't think it's a good look going into either the Dillian Whyte or the Usyk fight. And I find it slightly concerning, but not surprising. Tyson Fury does have this mental shortcoming, this lack of discipline at times, especially in between fights. So yeah, if you agree with me and find it concerning, to what extent do you think it's going to be a detriment to Tyson Fury? Or if you're in the other camp, which is even more interesting, if you don't think that this is cause for concern, let me know why. Leave it all below in the comment section. If you could like, comment, share, subscribe, thank you very much. It'll be greatly appreciated. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next video.